All right. Thank you so much for your response to my last video. And so I want to offer the follow-up video that I said I would give. And there's so much that I didn't cover in the last video. Like I said, one of the things that is so captivating to me and to many other people about this story is that there are just all of these crazy pop culture elements that get thrown into it. For example, probably a lot of you know this, but one of the people that apparently Amber Heard cheated on Johnny Depp with in their marriage was Elon Musk. And Elon Musk, of course, is now the wealthiest wealthiest person in the world. And so you have that whole dynamic thrown in there. Apparently, also, it's coming out that Elon Musk is the person who paid some of these charities a bit of money in Amber Heard's name. We don't yet know how much, but apparently Amber Heard did not donate, and you've probably heard this, did not donate her $7 million divorce settlement from Johnny Depp that she said she had donated. And remember, that was her big defense whenever people would say that she was a gold digger or that she was running a scam on Johnny Depp with all of these domestic violence allegations and so forth. Her big defense was always to say, I didn't want anything from him. I didn't take any money from him. I gave it all to charity. Well, it's come out recently, and you can look it up. It's come out recently that that was not true. That Children's Hospital, for instance, which was promised $3.5 million by Amber publicly, they ended up getting $100,000 or $150,000 from Johnny Depp in her name. Johnny Depp actually donated a little himself. You can see online, Children's Hospital, they're writing these letters to her. These letters have been posted by Johnny Depp's lawyer last week. They're writing these letters to her, basically sort of nicely begging for this money. Like, hey, you know that 3.5 million that you said you were going to give us? Well, we haven't seen any of it. Can we expect that? And you feel sorry for them too, like the Children's Hospital, because these letters, they're trying to, or this one letter that Johnny Depp's lawyer posted, you can tell that the guy is trying to be very, very polite, but he wants to know that 3.5 million, we were counting on that. What happened? So it's really very tragic that Amber Heard lied about that and did not follow through with her donations. And instead, she pocketed all of that money from her settlement herself, which doesn't look good for her credibility. But anyway, where Elon Musk comes into this is that he did donate some money to the ACLU in her name, and we just don't know how much yet, but the ACLU has been subpoenaed and we'll see. But what's clear is that Amber did not keep her word. She pocketed her divorce settlement. She didn't donate it to charity, right? All right, so I want to talk about a few things. One thing is, I mentioned that Amber Heard had cheated on Johnny Depp with, we know Elon Musk and we know James Franco, whom she had done a film, The Adderall Diaries, with. I've seen it. It's not that great a movie. I do like James Franco, but we know that she was cheating with them because there is surveillance video that has been leaked, and it's surveillance video of the penthouse that Johnny Depp and Amber Heard shared, not their actual apartment, but the general lobby and elevator surveillance. And she is photographed on these elevator surveillance tapes taking James Franco and Elon Musk separately up to her apartment that she shared with Johnny Depp while Johnny Depp was out of town. And it's very clear from these videos the way that these guys are kind of hugging on her, or she's hugging on them and stuff in the elevator. It's very clear what's going on. So this is not a supposition, really. It's really pretty much fact that she was cheating on Johnny Depp during their marriage. There's no evidence that Johnny Depp cheated on her at all, and he denies that he did. I don't even think that Amber claims that, actually, that he was unfaithful. All right, so that's one thing I just wanted to mention about the cheating. Both Elon Musk and I believe James Franco have been subpoenaed, and I believe that they're fighting it or trying to dodge it for the Virginia trial, the Virginia defamation trial. And then I wanted to talk a bit as well about Amber's bruises, or the bruises that she claimed that she got from Johnny Depp being violent with her. Now, Amber has pictures going back years, or many months, maybe even years, into the marriage of these different injuries that she photographs and says that she received from Johnny Depp. I think that what the evidence that has emerged shows, and I don't say this lightly because it's a big thing to accuse someone of, especially a supposed domestic violence assault victim. It's a big thing to accuse them of being a liar and a hoaxer. But I have to say that in this case, that is what the evidence seems to show, because at the same time that Amber has these photographs of her with these injuries or these bruises, or at the same time that she has claimed in court depositions and at the UK trial that she had these horrific injuries that Johnny Depp gave her. And then also, I talked about in the last video, but the walk of shame that she did when she filed for divorce and filed the restraining order against Johnny Depp, and she had this bruise on her cheek. Well, all of these injuries are supposed injuries that she claims. They're contradicted by the fact that we have pictures taken from the day after, the day before by paparazzi. In one case, Amber Heard was actually on the James Corden show. She was being interviewed, and she claims that she had 2 black eyes at that point that the makeup artist had been able to skillfully cover up. Well, I know the power of makeup, but if you look at her on the James Corden interview, and you can find that online, it's flawless, and she's doing all of these facial contortions and stuff like that, and it seems unlikely to me. Also, the day after or the day before, I'm going to look it up and give you the photograph, but the day after or the day before she paraded around in front of the courthouse with the supposed bruise on her face, she was photographed casually by the paparazzi, walking with and laughing hysterically with a friend. And you can see that she's wearing absolutely no makeup. Now, she tried to claim to the UK judge that she was wearing makeup because I was in LA. And in LA, you know, the paparazzi are always going to be following you, and so you always wear makeup. Well, we women, and maybe men too, right, who wear makeup, we know that there is a distinctive look that makeup has. We know what a non-made-up face looks like, and you can tell plainly in these photos that she is completely barefaced. Also, you know, her hair is not fixed at all. It's just tied back in a bun in like a really casual style. And you can tell there's absolutely no makeup on her face, and it's pristine. It's perfect. Also, sometime, maybe the day before, when she claims that she had this bruise, she was also photographed at a party, I think with Amanda de Cadenet and Amber Valletta and some other celebrities. I think it was some kind of women's event. She was photographed, and there was no bruise on her face. Now, she has her hair kind of brought down in front of her face. You can tell, you know, she's trying to give the impression that she's hiding something, but you can see underneath it. I think you can see, I don't think there's anything there. And actually her friend who posted that picture on Instagram took it down because so many people were going to that photo and saying, but wait, look here, it doesn't look like she's injured, even with the hair in her face and everything. So, point being, there are a lot of people who looked at this case, really reasonable people who even initially believed Amber, who now say that there's a lot of evidence that she was faking this. And there's testimony from witnesses as well. I don't have time to get into that, but there have been a number of witnesses who have testified for Johnny Depp, including Amber's stylist, who said that she was around her before the James Corden show, up close, could see everything, and there were absolutely no injuries. And then Amber texts her later, or talks to her later, and says, "Can you believe I did that interview with 2 black eyes?" And the stylist, Amber's friend, the stylist is like, he's got to be thinking, you know, what's going on? She clearly doesn't have 2 black eyes. So is she delusional, or is she, much more likely, is she planting the seeds of this conspiracy that maybe she had been planning for a while? You know, one of the things that came out on the audio tapes between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, and I can't remember which one it was, but I think it was the later one, where she's really, you can tell she's really trying to scare him in a way, and she's trying to tell him about all this evidence that this supposed evidence that she has against him. And in the audio tapes, she says to him, you know, nobody's going, and I'm paraphrasing here, but she says, no, nobody's going to believe that I have been planning this and plotting this for years. I mean, I have texts going back years to when I'm texting my friends or I'm texting my mom and I'm talking about the abuse, and I have time-stamped photos and this and that, and nobody would think that I would be faking that this far back, years back. And what's interesting is she gives herself away, and a number of you have noted this, right? Is that she gives herself away. She actually tells him. I think that Brian McPherson said in his video that she actually gives away her end game. She tells him what her end game is, which is to actually perpetuate or to enact this conspiracy. Now, the other thing I want to talk about here is, and also somebody said this in the comments on my last video, and you're so right. Amber Heard has absolutely zero medical evidence, medical documentation of her injuries. In other words, there's no, she didn't go to the hospital, there's no x-rays, there's no, all of these horrific injuries that she claims she sustained, right? And so that's interesting. Now, whereas Johnny Depp, he does, right? He has medical records of having to go to the hospital in Australia because the tip of his finger was sliced off. And so, if we want to look at who in this relationship ended up in the hospital because of a fight, it was Johnny Depp. It wasn't Amber Heard, right? All right. Finally, I want to talk about I want to talk a little bit about the UK trial a little bit more because it was such a tragic thing, really, especially for those of us who were pulling for Johnny Depp. It was such a tragic thing to see him lose that case. And, in my last video, I talked about the fact that the verdict was probably not credible, or that a lot of people don't find it to be. And I don't either, right? I'm giving you my opinion more in this video because I wanted the last video to just be an introduction for everybody, even for Amber Heard supporters, just to get a sense of the case. But for this, from here on out, I'm just going to speak to you about my opinions. And obviously, I'm on Johnny's side. I believe Johnny, right? But the UK trial was very tragic, and I just want to say a few things about it and a few reasons why I don't think that the verdict is indicative of the truth, okay? First of all, the trial was not Johnny Depp against Amber Heard. It was actually Johnny Depp suing a tabloid newspaper in England called The Sun. You've probably heard of it before. The UK has a way bigger tabloid culture than we have, which is kind of hard to believe, but it really is. And I don't want to wade into the whole Meghan Markle debate because I really don't know enough about that and don't have a strong opinion at this point. But one of the things that they brought up Meghan and Harry, when they talked about leaving the UK, is they wanted to get away from the UK tabloid culture. So regardless of what you think about Meghan or Harry, I don't care. But there is this real thing of a really strong tabloid culture. So anyway, there was this tabloid called The Sun, and they did an article. It was a front page article. It was, big headline news, and it called, basically, in so many terms, it called Johnny Depp a wife beater. In fact, I think it actually used the term wife beater. And it said, how can J.K. Rowling be happy, really happy with a wife beater in her next movie, Fantastic Beasts? And of course, that was the movie that Johnny Depp had to step down from. Anyway. And so Johnny Depp was suing this paper because he was trying to clear his name, and that was one of the ways he was trying to do it. Now, Amber Heard did testify at the trial. They brought her in. She didn't have to, but she's got to keep this game running. Can't give it up now, right? Stakes are too high. And so, you can look into this. I might do a separate video on it, but it was just really insane how much of Johnny Depp's evidence the judge completely discounted in his verdict, and how he basically, and I'm not exaggerating here because I read his verdict. I read the whole document, and he basically took Amber Heard's word for everything. He just believed everything, or almost everything, that she said. And she had a small number of witnesses, her friends and her family. And he took everything pretty much that they said, for the most part, at face value. Then Johnny Depp, all of his testimony, he had all of these different witnesses from different walks of life and staff and, so on and so forth. People who weren't even related to him. And he had all of these witnesses, and he had medical records, and he had audio tapes, right? I talked about the audio tapes in my last video. I mean, how can you listen to the audio tapes and come away from that thinking that Johnny Depp is the abuser? It is pretty mind-boggling, as one of my Twitter friends said. So anyway, I don't know how to explain the judge's verdict, other than just to say that when you read it, it really seems like he had decided from the start that he either didn't like Johnny Depp, or that he didn't like the idea of a man challenging a domestic violence claim in court, or challenging the credibility of the female victim, or whatever. And so it just seemed like that judge was just determined, either consciously or unconsciously, determined to basically try to construct a case around Amber Heard's credibility. And so Johnny Depp is appealing. You know, it's interesting, and a number of people have noted this, but one of the reasons that the judge gave for his verdict, he said that the fact that Amber Heard had donated her entire divorce settlement to charity, that gave her a lot of credibility, because it really destroyed Depp's argument that that one of the things she was trying to do was financially blackmail him. Now, the judge in the UK trial, this just is an example of his credibility problem. He just takes her word for it. She supplied no documents verifying this, and the judge was fine with that. And so I wonder what that judge is thinking now, as it's come out that Amber Heard flat out lied to him about a central tenet of the case and a central deciding factor for him. So that's very interesting. But that's what I think about the UK trial. And so now what Johnny is doing is he's taking his case now to a jury in Virginia, and hopefully they will have more sense than the judge. And also it seems like he's got a good presiding judge as well, who's very no nonsense and no bullshit and everything. All right. The final thing that I want to talk about is this conspiracy of friends that is supporting and has been supporting Amber and her case. So I'm going to talk about that in my next video that I'm going to release really soon. I'm just kind of going to tease that here. But I just want to say that one of the final things that really fascinates me about this case is that Amber, I guess through her celebrity power, through money, through manipulation, and through friendship, she has been able to manipulate a number of people around her into friends and family into perjuring themselves and lying, and they could really be in some trouble, especially if more ends up being exposed. And so it will be interesting to see. When I say that they were in this conspiracy, it's not just that they perjured themselves, but there is some evidence that they actually participated with Amber in setting Johnny up. You know, there was this whole cell phone incident. Amber claimed that the injury that she was exhibiting at her courthouse walk of shame was an injury that she received when Johnny Depp threw a cell phone at her as they were having one of their final fights before their split, and it popped her on the face. And she claims then that she had a friend who was right there who witnessed it, and then another friend who was listening on the phone, and this friend then called 911. We're talking about Io Tillett Wright. It's a strange name, but Io Tillett Wright and Raquel Pennington. And so she claims that they were there. They claim Raquel claims that she was there, and Io claims that she was hearing this on the phone and everything. And so I guess what I'm saying, and Johnny, of course, and his staff, and even the Los Angeles Police Department deny that there was they didn't see a domestic violence incident. It was even in the LAPD report, because the cops did come out and they saw no evidence of anything, and Amber Heard didn't want to report anything. So I wonder where that bruise was at that point. I guess maybe it just hadn't come up yet, right? Anyway, my point being that Amber has this, I'm sorry I was kind of rambling, but Amber has this whole group around her, this whole cadre of friends and family, including a sister who went to the UK to perjure herself. And apparently Amber beats up on this sister pretty regularly. How do I know that? Well, one of the things that came out in the UK trial was actual videotape of Amber's sister with bruises, and people around her saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe you let Amber beat up on you like that." The UK judge saw this, and he just dismissed it. He just dismissed it as basically meaningless. It's crazy. And then also, the best friend, Jennifer Howell, the best friend of Amber's sister, also testified in a deposition that Amber's sister was the victim of constant abuse by Amber, was afraid of her, couldn't believe that Johnny Depp was putting up with all of the beatings and craziness. So this is what we're dealing with. It's really interesting. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and what I'm going to do from here on out, instead of giving you summary of what's happened in the past, I'll do some of that, but I'm going to try to get into the individual topics that may be of interest to people who know more about this case. So I'll try to do a mix of that, sort of general videos for everyone, and then more specialized videos for people like me who are following this more closely. All right, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.